A very gaunt, black-haired man is propping himself up against a filthy, mold-spotted wall. He's dressed like a stalker. When you enter the room, his eyes grow wide. He exclaims, "Oh man, oh man, oh man, finally a normal person. Oh man, dude, I thought I'd die in this shithole. Brother, I'm begging you, please get me out of here." Oh, you have a bar of soap. That's actually more than I expected. "I'm Maxime Clocher. I repay you, I promise. I give you more shit than you can carry. I'm crazy down here, I'm telling you, man. Oh, the father's not retarded. Instead, he's a cunning, fucked up degenerate monster who wants to breed me to his ugly, fat, daft cow of a daughter. Please save me." Hold on, let's talk first. "Brother, please, I'm begging you. Don't want to die in this place. That's why you want to ask, but make it quick. Do something to help me escape." "Who are you?" "I'm Maxime, a stalker. Well, not quite a stalker, but almost. A better version of a stalker, okay? A better version of a stalker? You don't look like a better version of a stalker right now. Pleasure meeting you. And what are you doing here?" "What do you think I'm doing? Wait for someone to save me. Like a fairy tale princess. Oh man, if you knew how fed up I am with this freak show." "And what is this place?" "I don't give a shit. Some hole in the wall. Maybe a metro maintenance staff works and chilled here. I only know nowadays it's a family of fucked up degenerate freaks and assholes calls it home." "And have you heard anything interesting lately?" "Oh man, what room is brother? Hello? Knock knock, you big dummy. Anyone home? I'm imprisoned on a filthy fucking soiled mattress in some weirdo storage room. Don't know anything except my craving to escape this place." Jeez, let's just change subject. Time to talk later. Right, I'm just gonna... I do want to ask, obviously, the dad stuff first. So, yeah, we have to talk about that. "I beg you, please, get me out of this mess. They don't feed me, they don't give me water, they only say I have to make babies with a fat chick. Totally nuts. I'm a sort of dumb-looking kid turned into a live rat with his teeth and eating, guts, fur and all. I'm a so-called sister-in-law, she's like, what, 18? Well, she shits her pants regularly. They're not normal, you hear me? I bet they plan to cut me up and eat me, and maybe even skip the cooking part. Man, please just save me." "You'll make me sick. Here you've got a beautiful wife and the roof over your head, and your one job is to make babies. You want to run from all that? Have you seen that beauty? Ugh. I'm a simple legendary writer, marked for the Soviet literature and genius, and my dreams are also simple. I dream of having grandkids, but I would never force my child into breeding with a stranger. Honest." "I don't take you at your word, Hexagen." "I'm not lying whatsoever this time, not at all." "You're deepening my suspicion, Hexagen. I don't believe genius skips a generation. I'm not counting on my grandchildren to write novels that I would then claim as my own, and I'm especially not planning on hiring a prostitute to steal my children's seed to fashion into a genetically superior younger version of me. Why would I? I don't want an heir at all. One small thing for my existence to carry on after I die. A successor to my life's work." What's he on about? This old dude would fit right in this whack job family. I do agree, Maxim. Ay caramba, I've got nothing to say. Yep, same here. There are no words to describe this place. Apart from maybe fucking hole, shit bucket, den of degenerates. Please help me. Hey, these people are totally peaceful. Just run away. They won't harm you. Jesus Christ. I almost wanted to see what happens if it does, if I do say that, but I imagine they're just going to kill it or the dogs are going to rip him apart. Well, I don't imagine that that's what's going to happen. Who are you? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Sat at a desk. Wasn't the mum dead? So who are you then? A small hunchbacked woman of around 50 gives you an uncomfortable look as she continues to dust items and surfaces around the room. In otherwise forgettable features, you notice a similarity to the three young people you saw on your way back to this boarded up piece of the underground. Might she be the mother of this unwashed pack? Oh, did she just... Oh, she's not capable of having kids anymore. You should rather speak with my dear husband, Vladimir Ivanovich. Me and my kids let him do all the talking on behalf of our family. I just wanted to have a little talk. Only if it's important. How can I call you? Oh, let's see what you got. No. How can I call you? My name is Alexander Petrovna, but you may also use the name Shura. Alexander Petrovna. Huh. Nice to meet you. What do you do around here? I do everything I can to make my husband's life and work easier. I clean and cook what the kids hunt down in the tunnels. Maybe a small, quiet person, but I keep order around my husband Vladimir Ivanovich's quarters, and I would never wish for a better fate. What can you tell me about this place? Vladimir Ivanovich, my dear husband, was fired from his teaching position because the education authorities misunderstood his ingenious new teaching technique. It was devastating and unjust, since his is a storied lineage of educators. To provide for me and the kids, Vladimir Ivanovich took a cleaning job down here in the metro. Did you know that his downfall would save us from perdition? Maybe so. Oh, fuck. When the news came of the Berlin Wall crisis, Vladimir Ivanovich, in his wisdom, knew the world was about to end. Over the following weeks, we smuggled our things and a huge amount of canned goods into the storage units over this maintenance structure. As soon as the air raid siren sounded, we rushed down here with our 3 babies and locked ourselves inside. We lived here ever since, knowing we were the last sane survivors of the Armageddon above. Now this is our family estate, and I can no longer say that it's closed to unwashed guests from the top side such as yourself. Maybe one day Vladimir Ivanovich will be gracious enough to teach you survival skills, as he taught them to our children. What a smart guy. And what goes on around here? I'm afraid I cannot help you with rumours. A few times my husband, Vladimir Ivanovich, came into contact with the outside world. I wasn't by his side, so I know nothing of what he learned. It's not my business. I'm on the earth to serve my dear better half without question. The kids sometimes scavenge the ruins above, but they were taught to ignore hearsay, and I wouldn't understand in any case. Fine, I'll be leaving. Nothing further this way then. Strange. Oh, wait. Wait. Oh, I came from there, didn't I? So I can climb over this to get back up there and back down that way, I guess. Guess that was if I was trying to sneak him out, possibly. What's in these shelves, actually? Ooh, stims. Can I don't know whether I can actually take him. I'm going to be killing these people anyway, I assume, but... Let's talk. Jesus Christ, he doesn't look as insane as I thought, but still rather insane. A short, grey-haired man of around 50 watches you through the lenses of his nicely preserved spectacles. Super sim. Finally, I get to see the person who so agitated my son Pavka. My name is Vladimir Ivanovich. I'm the one who speaks on behalf of my family. What can I do for you, comrade? Quite an interesting place you've got here. Can I ask some questions? I'm listening. Who are you? Like I told you before, my name is Vladimir Ivanovich. I'm the father of this family, a teacher by both education and calling. Right, and what are you doing here? Like all normal fathers should, I'm raising my family to survive the dangers of modern life. The only thing normal about this place is the smell of shit. Everything else I've seen and heard is insane. Calm your friend down, you're a guest here, show some respect. And what is this place? After details of my social experiment became public, I had to take a janitorial position here in the metro. All that time I chased rats and screwed in light bulbs. I was cursed my life. I cursed my fall from grace and prepared to end my life in this misery. I'd only known that when the bombs fell, this place would become a safe haven for me and my family. My own underground family mansion. And what was the experiment that got you fired? The man smiles and nods. He's been waiting years on end to share his scientific theories with someone. After many long years educating young people and learning about the quality of their lives after graduation, I made a certain discovery. Only those who excelled at certain things adapted well to society. The others led unremarkable or even contemptible lives. The 60s were kind to men of science, 70s loved poets, historians and journalists, the 80s asked for warriors and protectors. This is the reason why I ignored the Communist Party educational standards and changed the lesson plans to normal language. No languages, no art, no music, no history. They only received lessons in sports. They were forced to learn sport, shooting, and firearms maintenance, and they crafted weapons and armor from scrap metal and refuse instead of wasting time on math. I was only able to keep this course of instruction for a few months before the parents and the authorities found me out. They said the school was a place for higher learning, not grunt work, as if that was a bad thing. What did they know about teaching? Oh, I'm completely sure that my former pupils survived to this very day, while the kids whose tender minds work math and the sciences now lie dead in the ashes of the old world. This era requires a savage, a killer, not a poet. What a weirdo theory. Did I ask what you're doing here? Yep. And have you heard anything interesting? I honestly don't know if I can help you with that. I have little contact with the wild outside, and my son-in-law, Maxime, only cries and screams when I attempt to have a conversation with him. My son-in-law, that's an interesting way to put it. I'd like to talk about the family of yours. What would you like to know? I cannot help but notice your kid's behaviour is rather bizarre. Vladimir Ivanovich shakes his head. Tis, tis, tis. I hope you meant to say they behave like survivors, like true heirs of this world. Do you know you left your daughter with serious psychological trauma? Manya is a weak and imaginative child. Some of the things we had to do for the sake of survival and discipline were not to her liking, but it's her fault much more than it is mine. Oh, so he actually raped her as well. What kind of a monster are you raping your own daughter? Vladimir Ivanovich looks away. Please, understand that things I did brought me no pleasure. I wanted to repopulate the planet with the seed of my loins, to become the leader of a tribe of evolved men and women who would be ready for the harsh reality outside. I only learned later there were other sane survivors above, and all of this was before I discovered my seed was incompatible with my daughter's genes. I did not do it to act like a tyrant, though it filled me with disgust and fear for my eternal soul. It needed to be done for the sake of humanity. I failed and I stopped trying. Leave this question be. Ah, you have a perfect fallacy on your side, comrade monster. Oh, child, we cannot help this family. They are too far gone. There's only one cure for them, and it comes in 9 grams of lead. The underground patriarch's whole body tenses and he licks his lips. Damn it, let's just change the subject. I want to ask a few more questions. You don't want to know. I'm here for the prisoner, Maxim Kalusha. Actually, can I talk to anyone else now that I've asked them about that? Okay, so apparently he did break both of them. Well, that's not good. Well, it doesn't seem so. You know, fuck it. Let's just get around to shooting then, I guess. There's not much else going on. Oh yeah, what is that? Just a magazine? Can't seemingly select it, so I guess it's uninteractable. I'm here for you, prisoner, Maxim Kalusha. Vladimir Ivanovich raises one eyebrow and supplies. Believe me, Maxim is no prisoner. He's family. He's married to my daughter. I saw your daughter. You think she's ready for marriage? What is this tomfoolery? Let me replace him. I'll be a good hubby to your daughter. What? What? I don't think that'd actually work, right? Like, would he just let him go and then I can use that thing to escape? No, I kind of want to kill these guys. I saw your daughter. You think she's ready for marriage? What is this tomfoolery? I kind of want to test that out to see if I do have to just like bail or like run away. Ah, fuck it. Think she's ready for marriage? What's this tomfoolery? Vladimir Ivanovich shakes his head regretfully, but there is malice in his gaze. My daughter is ideally suited to the circumstances that she must live in. She's rather slow, but she can hunt. She doesn't care whether she gets decent food to eat or a bloated rat corpse. She's not encumbered by old world morality and knowledge. I won't let my family disappear. My grandchildren will be the savage, ignorant masters of this dead world. How is your daughter ideal? Does she know how to use a gas mask? Can she operate a generator? With a stone, she can kill a rat from 20 paces in complete darkness. All technology is not eternal. Her savage skills are. Yeah, you do know that we haven't devolved into monkeys up there, right? The man looks at you doubtfully, but he seems to trust you. No, children born after the war didn't regress into primitive tribal state from the lack of technology, education, and medicine. Everyone I've met from the surface has been a scavenger, a barely literate hobo living in the dead shells of old buildings. You are actually living in an underground... You are actually living underground zero of an atomic blast. Places not touched by the radiation are slowly returning to their pre-war quality of life and old values. Beads of sweat are forming on the man's brow. Civilization isn't dead. It didn't regress back to the Stone Age. Your city is called the Dead City and is largely avoided. Other places in the wasteland are much, much better off. With access to the science, medicine, and literature you thought vanished. Crushed and hopeless, Vladimir Ivanovich hangs his head for a few minutes, but eventually gives you a friendly pat on the shoulder. I never knew there were still people in the world who could destroy all my beliefs. It seems that I built my house on sand. I need to reflect on what we discussed. Would you leave me be for a moment, please? So be it. I'm going to hear a gunshot, aren't I? As you make to leave, you hear the distinctive click of a hammer being cocked. You spin around to face Vladimir Ivanovich, only to see him standing with a gun to his temple. Do not blame this person for my death, dear Shira. What I did to our family was a horrible mistake. There is no future. Not for me, not for you, not for our children. It's time for me to sleep now. Good night. That's actually a pretty cool transition. The shot deafens you as the old teacher's brains splatter all over the floor. With half his head missing, Vladimir Ivanovich drops like a discarded rag doll. Blood rapidly pools around the man's head and upper body. Oh, Shira comes over. He looks sad. A coward's death. And more than he deserved. This man made so many mistakes. It's just scary. Took the easy way out. Fucking son of a bitch. That was actually pretty fun saying his accent. What do you have on you? A naggin with a 0 of 7, so you missed a lot of shots. I'm gonna leave you with shit. Sure. Get out of here, you terrible person. I hate you. Do you mind if I take the stims? I mean, he's not gonna need them. Oh, I guess you do. Whatever. Alright, so Maxima can obviously take. I just want to ask the others what's going on. Seems the rats are still non-hostile. Vaya. Staring at nothing in particular with the milky blue eyes. What you need? My ratsy, no givings. You are free. Your cruel father will molest you no longer. I think... I was just walking by. See what she says. Ah, fuck. Actually, oh, that's annoying. Did I quick save just before, or...? I think I did it just after, didn't I? Damn it, I kind of want to hear what she had to say. Or if I can try and sort of, you know... I'm actually going to load that. Oh, looks like I've just done speechcraft instead of first aid. It's giving me a different response. So I was asking him to talk about it. You're about to give up the demonstration. He sort of dobbies himself, or he repeatedly hurts himself by the sound of things. Seems like it was a trick intended for someone to listen in, because after screaming for a bit, he calms down again and looks comically around before gesturing to come closer. When you do, the stench of pus, skin disease, and soiled clothes crawls into your sinuses where it snuggles up against your soul. After another quick look around, he whispers, "Don't tell anybody, but once I saw Daddy climb up on Sister Valia's back with no pants on and put his thingy into her thingy. So the next day I also tried climbing on Sister Valia's back with no pants on and putting my thingy into her thingy. She screamed. Daddy rushed into the room. He dragged me to his study. He had a knife and some rope." The youth is sharing his disgusting story with guttural giggles and a silly smile on his face, but tears are flowing from his eyes, though he doesn't seem to notice. "He cut my thingy off and fed it to Bunny and Piggy for supper." Jesus Christ. Dios mío, I think I'm going to be sick. I also felt sick. After a small pause, the young man realizes he's crying. He wipes the tears away with a confused expression and continues giddily. "Now I don't want to climb on anyone's back anymore. The only bad thing about it is the gash where my thingy used to be is sore and sticky, and I can't walk right because it rubs on my pants." What's your opinion of your dad's actions? Opinion? No. Daddy was right to cut thingy off. Probably. Maybe. Ever since Bunny and Piggy ate the thingy, they're always looking at me strange, like they want more of my meat. So maybe it's not very good Daddy fed them the thingy. Probably. Maybe. No, it's good too, I think. All Daddy does is good. Let's change the subject forever. Oh, I don't think... Between dreams. Did I ask about books before? I don't think I did that. What sort of books you like? The girl changes completely when you ask her this. Where before stood an emotionless zombie that's now a smiling, excited teenager. This only lasts as long as it takes for her to answer your inquiry, though. Mum used to read me a fantasy of fairy tales and all manner of French folklore and stories. When Daddy found out, he took all the books away. He told us later he burned them to keep us warm. Such a good daddy he is. I'm his best baby because thanks to the fairy tales I can say the words that Pablo and Valia never learned, like despite that. But despite that, I think I love Mummy a bit more. I can get you some books if you want. I could make it into fun little side quests. Ooh, can I do that with the what's it called? That mission. The one I've got from the postman in... Not the postman, the hunter guy in Otradno. No, Daddy didn't like the last box me and Mummy had, and he won't like new ones. He'll still be very mad. Like the last time, I don't remember what he did to me that time, but when I tried to remember, I was scared and cry anyway. Maybe he didn't do anything. Stupid eye, he's crying for no reason. Huh. I just realized I can ask Shuria some questions as well. Do you know that your daughter Manya was traumatized by her father somehow? The woman's hands tremble as she mumbles an excuse. Manya's always daydreaming, sometimes to the point of soiling herself. The awful experience she shared was nothing but a vivid nightmare. Listen, that's not even the whole story. The woman spits her terrible answer through her teeth. My husband cannot be blamed for what he tried to achieve. Our family is probably the last genetically unaltered group on Earth. We hid ourselves from radiation and we are not dangerous mutants like you or your ilk. Vladimir Ivanovich wanted to recreate civilization, make a new society that would be prepared for the obstacles New World throws at people. But he's long since given up on this project. This is all old news. Do you know you had an affair with your daughter? The woman tries to answer you but chokes on a word. She manages to speak on the second attempt. Val, you simply imagine the story. She's a naive, very naive, impressionable girl. She doesn't look naive. Tell me the truth. The woman sighs and her shoulders slump. Everyone makes mistakes, even geniuses sometimes. My husband wanted to repopulate the barren waste by the means of our girls, but nature denied him this honour. After he was sure his seed was incompatible with our daughter's womb, he stopped trying to father children with Valia. Why do you dredge up these old irrelevant events from our past? Don't be like that, please. And do you know that his husband castrated your only son? Mum's eyes grow wide for a second. Probably she's remembering some soul-crushing images she blotted from her mind in order to maintain her sanity. And she's probably doing worse than my frickin' Call of Cthulhu character. My son's genitals became infected by an unknown fungus. My husband had no choice to save for amputation. We do not have advanced medical equipment around here, as you know. Yeah, fungus. Your son's fungus grew especially fast before he tried to rape his sister. The woman gulps, driven into a corner by a profound truth. Brothers can't do things like that to sisters. It's disgusting. However, the things that Vladimir Ivanovich taught our kids about survival do not include basic morality, so the only way to stop what our son attempted was surgery. A bit extreme. No wonder your kids are so weird. The woman closes her eyes and sighs heavily. This is a completely predictable result of my husband's teaching techniques. Vladimir Ivanovich only gave the kids the knowledge they needed to survive. He and I, we believe that teaching children to use all their intellectual capacity would be cruel in this foul new world. They were taught only to communicate with each other using simple words, to hunt small creatures, to eat anything nutritious without developing a craving for particular foods, to not care about what they wear, where they sleep, and what they do. What do you think caring about where they sleep and what they wear would be important, wouldn't it? And what they do. The only important thing is survival, but if you're sleeping in like a radiation-filled sack, you're going to be fucked, aren't you? So, your kids acting like demented freaks is what you wanted for them all along? Now that's cruel. The woman laughs with sadness in her eyes. Cruel, huh? You know what's cruel? Teaching kids hygiene in a world where there's barely any clean water. Teaching kids to read in a world devoid of books. Teaching kids to play and make friends in a world where every other person is a slave or a brainless mutant. You know what's even more cruel? Educating kids about gas stoves and refrigerators, airplanes and cars, Gagarin's spaceflight, the wisdom of Marx, Engels and the immortal Lenin. When all that's left of these things is ash. Everything just ash. So don't you dare lecture me on cruelty. But my dear, don't you know that the only reason man triumphed over nature was his intelligence? As an animal, a human is rather weak. He has no shell, no talons, no fur. Stealing the wisdom of literature from your kids is humanophobic to the bone. You're mistaken, comrade. The world is cruel, but if you had not crippled your kids mentally, they would at the very least stand a chance to regain what humanity lost. Now they are part of the problem, and not the solution. I will not listen to this undeserved criticism. Want to talk? Nope. That seems to be about it. Well, my character just like swiveled on the spot there. That's a bit funny. Just gonna ask you your questions. Let's talk about this family of yours. Do you know you left your daughter with some serious psychological trauma? What kind of a monster are you raping your own daughter? Pavka told you about the operation. Pavka told you about the operation, yes? Well, it looks like we must discuss this with our son. Why did you ask him anyway? What business is it of yours? I did it because what my son attempted would have brought us nothing but regret. I diffused him, made him safe. You actually believe that? You made your own child into a cripple. Because of the way he was raised, Pavka will never realize the full horror of what I did. He hasn't the morality to know it was immoral. He has no concept of normalcy, so he'll never see himself as lacking something useful. Hold on. So, you want to instill immorality into your children, and then when they practice this immorality in the form of literally doing what you do, which is an immoral act, but he doesn't know what morality is anyway, you then punish him. So you teach him to do something, then punish him for doing it. That's not, you know, do as I say, not as I do. That's don't do as I say or as I do. And lacking something useful, so you consider morality as useful, right? Or lacking, well, I guess lacking something useful is in the dick, but... So you're not even teaching him what a dick... So how would he learn how to procreate then? So he... Fidel looks as though he's about to attack the man in hot blood. You stop him at the last moment. I couldn't help but notice your kids' behaviors around the bizarre. How they survive as they like mentally ill child. Intellect... Like speechcraft personality. Wait, what? I didn't choose this option last time. Right, so let's go through this again. How developed intellect will benefit from knowledge and mental acumen even in an undeveloped world. Despite his flaws, he's a smart man and is hungry for intellectually stimulating debate. There is, however, contempt in his gaze as well. Nonsense. You and I are intellectually closer to apes than to the amazing educators of history who before the war had already proven that a profile education is of much greater benefit than a traditional one. Unnecessary knowledge only confuses young minds. They should study no more than what they need to. And then intellect, speechcraft, and personality in one roll. Good lord. At least it's a success. You launch into a lengthy tirade full of sociological, historical, psychological, and philosophical facts and quotes from the greatest minds of the past. As you deconstruct your opponent's educational theory, you feel the blood rushing through your veins. Yes, this is it. The feeling is coming back to you, the delicious sensation of destroying someone with facts and logic. The light of your intellect is undoing the gloom of this man's mind. His weak reasoning, his poorly developed arguments, they call you to intellectual combat's ultimate arena. Vladimir Ivanovich does all he can to pronounce a profound counter-argument, but it fails time and time again. The wall of his denial crumbles by the moment before your merciless verbal assault. In the end, every theory that made this man live his life as he did is torn asunder by your razor-sharp wit. Crushed and hopeless, Vladimir Ivanovich hangs his head for a few minutes, but eventually gives you a friendly pat on the shoulder. Solid reasoning, my dear colleague. I never imagined I would be part of such a monumental debate again. But here you are, sent by fate to debunk all my beliefs, to destroy this house I unwittingly built on sand. I lost, and yet I still feel something akin to joy. To be mentally destroyed by such a pristine intellect is more honor than a cause for regret. I need to reflect on what we discussed. Would you leave me for a moment, please? So be it. And the same thing again. I wonder whether Shura has any different reaction now that I've told her about all those things. Why did you leave us? So she doesn't... Oh, yeah, she does blame me. Terrible person, I hate you. Okay.